not include yourself, knowing that at certain times that's essential, and then seeing if in this community of practice you can make the choice to belong. And just notice how your energy, your breath responds to that warrior's choice. And knowing there's many ways we can talk about being a warrior, and in the way we talk about it in forest yoga is understanding the innate capacity of the heart to feel the whole spectrum of human experience, and the ability of the heart to reorganize and heal, and sensing how you can create a cord of energy from your warrior's heart to the earth, giving and receiving. Sensing how you might adjust your skull bones. I noticed for myself lifting my chin so as if my gaze were looking for the horizon, to create a way that the skull bones can rest right on top of the spine, softening the jaw. Seeing where you can keep stacking your bones so the muscles can work optimally and sustainably and not over effort. And as you begin to hone in on the breath, giving and receiving breath with our home, the earth, and with the horizontal circle of practice of each other. Noticing the four parts of the breath: the inhale, the pause at the top, the exhale, the pause at the bottom. And we'll work with this theme that we haven't worked with for a while. I haven't worked with for a while, this acronym called GAP. So starting in every pose, in this seated pose of grounding, what the yogic term would be tapasya, of putting your effort into pressing into the ground, making the choice to belong, perhaps spreading through the toes, anything you can do to belong and connect to the earth. And then the A part of the acronym is paying attention. So studying yourself to see what arises when you put in your grounding effort. And then the P part is presence. So there's a lot of theoretical discussion about whether you can choose to be present, or if presence is a gift of grace, that it's something that arises as a result of choosing to ground and belong, paying attention and studying yourself and what comes up when you do that. And so I like to think of that, this serendipity and grace that arises as a result of doing my part of the work. And so we'll work with that simple acronym in every pose. So let's start with some wrist stretches. So we'll work with the basic wrist stretches. So just begin by pressing forward, almost like you're in a plank, and roll the wrists a bit. And see where you can get a sense of making space in the joints, lubricating the tissues, And then just letting that grow into sort of like a good morning or good afternoon stretch. And then when you're ready, extend the left arm forward, flex at the wrist. Spread the pinky finger away from the thumb, so you're broadening across the carpal tunnel. And then we'll do one breath per finger. Sitting on your sit bones, stacking skull bones, take a hold of pinky finger. Take a very full breath in, paying attention, seeing what arises in these simpler poses. Stretch the pinky finger back, let the jaw go. Take a hold of the fourth finger, inhale. Exhale, stretch fourth finger back, reach through the heel of the hand towards the ground. And then taking a hold of the middle finger, inhale, lift the whole rib cage up. Exhale, stretch the middle finger back. Taking a hold of the index finger, soften internally and then broaden the ribs. Exhaling, getting empty, pulling the belly back. Taking the backs of the hands together, wrapping around the thumb, inhale. Exhale, stretch the thumb back, lengthening the thumb bone away from the joint, softening the face. And then we'll take that on the other side. Reach through the heel of the hand, spread pinky finger away from the thumb, holding on to pinky finger, inhale. Exhale, stretch it back, noticing the natural pauses at the top and the bottom of the breath. Taking a hold of fourth finger, inhale. Lift the ribs, exhale, stretch the fourth finger back. Taking a hold of the middle finger, inhale. Exhale, stretch it back. Taking a hold of the index finger, inhale, broadening into the intercostal muscles. Exhale, stretch it back. And then again, take backs of the hands together, lengthen the thumb away from the base of the wrist, stretching it back. And then relaxing the hands, sensing how do the tissues respond, how do the joints respond. And then reach from the center of the chest and then just do like a mini bird wing here, finding internal and external rotation to get the joints active and sending the breath energy into the center of your warrior's heart. And then when you're ready, flex at the wrists and you may bend the elbows a little. See what helps you feel like you're finding something fascinating. Inhale here. Exhale, curl down one finger at a time, pinky, fourth, middle, index, fold the thumb over, roll the fist down and reach from the center of the heart. Inhale, spread hands forward. Exhale, fold thumb in, give the thumb a squeeze and roll the pinky edge of the hands down. And then we'll do one more of each, the flexing at the wrist like you're pressing whatever needs to move out of your space. Making a boundary, inhale, exhale, curling down, pinky, fourth, middle, index, fold the thumb over, roll the fists down, reach from the center of the chest. Inhale, spread the hands open. Exhale, folding the thumb in, giving the thumb a squeeze, rolling the pinky edge of the hand down, getting into the top of the wrist, and then letting that go. And then just from those wrist stretches, receiving the energy and the nutrients you're beginning to generate, seeing how your mind is responding as you get into the practice and the warm-up, and just begin to play with shoulder shrugs in a small way, and then letting it grow organically. And just sensing how are the collarbones, chest muscles, how does it connect to the neck? And then we'll come into the specific three-part shoulder shrug. So inhale, shoulders up. Squeeze the top tips of shoulder blades. Keep squeezing and then drag down. Place your mind right in between the middle of the shoulder blades. Inhale. This time, just bring the shoulders straight back. Squeeze the middle shoulder blades. Keep squeezing. Drag down any amount. And then from there, place your mind into the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades and then drag down, bending the elbows. I find useful, you can play with that. We'll do one more round here. Inhale, shoulders up, shoulders straight back, focus right in, getting specific. Top tips of shoulder blades, dragging down. Inhale, middle shoulder blades. Squeeze middle shoulder blades, keep squeezing. Notice if you stick the ribs out, soften them down. And then bottom tips of shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Keep squeezing. Bend elbows if you like. Dragging down. And then take a moment, feeling into the shoulder girdle, armpits, chest muscles, upper back. Let's do a little bit of work with the neck here. So as if you had something on your nose and you were drawing a circle in space, and just feel into what gets your attention. A small circle, a bigger one. Coming into grounding, paying attention, and being open to grace to see what arises. Changing directions as you feel ready. And then from there, let's stack the left forearm up at shoulder height, right arm on top. Press the arms together, waking up the shoulders, shoulders down, and then keep the spine tall, moving the arms to the left and then back to center. And then keep going, using this to work into the relationship between shoulder and neck. Begin looking to the right as the arms go to the left. And then releasing that, and then just give yourself a moment to play with your axial rotation, looking one way and the other, feeling into the cervical spine. Big breath in, exhale long. And we'll take it to the other side. Right arm up, left arm on top. Press the arms together and then soften. Keep the ribs lifted, moving the arms to the right and then back to center. Keep sitting down to get tall. Feeling that pair of actions of rooting to rise. Begin looking to the left as the arms go to the right. And then from there, come back to center. Release the arms. Check out what arises as a result of your tapasya, your effort, and your paying attention. And then take a feeling breath. And then from there, let's come into a seated side bend in straddle. So coming to wherever you are. So we're super early on in the practice. So you might want to put props under your knees. You might want to sit up on props. See where you can get into being able to telescope the ribs and get out of a, if your spine is rounding, sit up on a towel or a block or a book. Reach through the legs. And then from here, taking the right arm out, starting on tentative fingertips, squeeze the fingers towards each other. Notice how what you do with everything that's touching the ground causes a response. So tweezing fingertips and then pressing into the ground, shoulder down. Bring the palm across the heart, stretching the heart open, reaching up, and then play with unwrapping and then wrapping the shoulder blade. So pinky finger comes in to move the shoulder blade, but just play with the possibilities. See what happens when you find out how your active hands cause a response in the shoulders. And then when you're ready, see where you can find a place where the hip is pressing into the ground. Find your G for gap. Ground yourself. Paying attention. And then being open to see what arises. See if you can find that yes of belonging, to notice where grace can find you. Flipping the palm and then sensing your arm in space. Moving the arm in any fashion that feels useful. And then pausing into your neck release, reaching through the arm. You could place that left hand on a block if you like, taking some time to stretch open here. So you're working on opening and grounding pelvis and legs. And see how the breath responds to your seated straddle. See how your mind responds. If your neck is feeling tight, you could cradle your head. And then from there, putting your head back up on top of your spine. Get on your sit bones. Lift your ribs. Take your hand out onto tentative fingertips. Tweeze through the fingertips. Reach the arm up. Flatten the palm. Pressing into the ground. And then play with palm facing forward, pinky finger spinning in. See how the shoulder girdle responds. And then find a sweet spot where you get interested. The sit bone is pressing strongly. You're moving the thigh bone away from the hip to make space, spreading through the toes. And then like you're leaning up against a wall. Feel the back body, the lunar body, sometimes the term in yoga. Feeling that support. Flipping the palm, taking any movements here that feel interesting, pleasant, useful. And then landing into your neck release, hovering the hand, stretch the left ear to the left shoulder, perhaps cradling your head. Exhale long, see if you can sense the relationship between grounding yourself and the energy body responding, the mind responding. Put your head back up. Let's do a couple rounds of Uddiyana. So playing with those tented fingers again behind you to see how that affects the shoulders. Looking up, relaxing through this whole central channel first. Inhale till you're completely full, as smoothly as possible. And then exhale with soft lines. Maybe you want to do a full line. When you're empty, keep the breath out. Pull the core back and up. When you're ready, relax the abs. Inhale. And then doing this about 3 or 4 more times to massage open the core and move out any core tension. Sitting on sit bones, get grounded, filling up. Exhale everything out. Getting curious about what is your comfort level with each of the parts. When are you comfortable keeping the breath out? What can you learn about yourself in relationship to your comfort edge? And then when you're finished, come on up, take a feeling breath. See how the breath responds to the Uddiyana, and then gently bring the feet back into Baddha Konasana. And we'll come into unlocking the hips. So let's go right into stage 2 here. Take the hand to the left inner thigh, close up to the hip point, opposite hand back behind you. Inhale, lift the chest, pressing down and away. And then play with any micro adjustments that help you get into the relationship between QL, this long muscle of the low back that directly affects the hips. I find if I knit my ribs in and down, I get in there more. So you might want to lift the chest and then play with that. Keep breathing. And then from there, come on up. We'll take that to the other side. Hand goes to inner thigh, close up to the hip point, opposite hand back behind you. Inhale, telescope ribs. Exhale, pressing down and away, and then play with what gets you into feeling through all of what's happening in this shape. Notice the relationship between when you get grounded, how the jaw may respond when you have support. And then from there, let's come into deer pose. So sitting all the way on the right hip, tuck the left heel back. If this does not feel good to your sacrum or your hip, you can stay in Baddha Konasana. Otherwise, plant that right hand down. Move the shoulder down away from the ear. Massaging across the chest muscles like you're pulling on a bow and arrow. Reach up. Take an inhale here, and then on exhale, arm comes behind the line of the torso. If it's okay for your neck, look up and notice how that affects your energy. You can also look forward or look down to the right if your neck is tight. Reaching through every finger, make space in the bones in the wrist, make space in the shoulder girdle, chest. Bring the arm back in line with the torso and then down strong, reach through the arm. Lift the ribs, turn towards the right. Take a couple of breaths here, like a very early pigeon. Fold. Spread through the toes. Press the ground away with the outer right leg. And then feel for broadening across the back ribs. Exhale, soften the neck. Take any movements that help you do that. And then from there, coming up with your neck as relaxed as possible, come back through Baddha Konasana, pour the weight onto the left hip, tuck the heel back by the sit bone or stay in Baddha Konasana, grab onto the ground. Really see where you can get some scapular mobility in that move, shoulder down, pull across the front of the chest, reaching up, spread through the hand. Use your exhale to help you find out where is your on this edge that stays fascinating. Honoring your body exactly where you are today. Seeing how your tissues respond to a celebration of what you can do rather than a fixing approach to your practice. Bring the arm back in line with the torso and then down. Feel the power in your arm. Lift the ribs, turn, and then fold. Spread through the toes on both feet. Kick the ground away with the outer left leg. And then continue to see where you feel guided to move your awareness into the back body here. And then again, press the ground away to come up with a relaxed neck. Let's come onto the back. Bring the feet right underneath the knees in half Shavasana. And then begin to broaden across the back bottom ribs so you're massaging open kidneys and adrenals. And then from here, interlace the hands behind the base of the skull. Shoulders and shoulder blades move down. Strong reach with the elbow tips, so you're making space in the shoulders. And then from there, pick both feet up. Bring the inner legs together. Knees over hips. Pick the head and chest up. Relax head into hands. And then inhale across the back bottom ribs. Squeeze inner legs together. Reach the knees up. On exhale, elbows reach to the right. Straighten through the left leg. Either 45 degrees to the ground or straight up if your back needs more support. Low belly pulls in. And then stage 2, hand to sit bone. Contract where the hamstrings meet the glutes. Curl up a second time. Low abs engage. Inhale, bend both knees. Squeeze inner legs, squeeze inner ankles. Curl up a second time. Curl up. Exhale, elbows reach to the left. Kick through that leg. Find the power from low abs, pelvic floor, inner leg, low belly pulls in. And then using your fingertips, hand to hamstring, sit bone muscles, curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in, inhale, bend both knees. Squeeze inner legs, squeeze inner ankles, curl up, curl up. Exhale, elbows reach to the right as you can. Get off that right shoulder, go for it. Straighten through the left leg, spread through the toes. Low belly pulls in, using fingertips to find the sit bone muscles. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Inhale, bend both knees. Squeeze inner legs. Curl the tailbone up. Exhaling, elbows reach to the left. Straighten through the right leg. Spread through the toes. Low belly pulls in. Hand to sit bone muscles. Contract. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. We'll go through one more round. Inhale to center. Squeeze inner legs. Curl tailbone. Knees reach straight up. Exhaling to the right. Straighten through the left leg. Low belly pulls in, pressing. Fingertips to hamstring insertion. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Last side, bend both knees. Squeeze inner legs. Reach the knees up. Exhaling, elbows reach left. Straighten through the right leg. Low belly pulls in. Hand to sit bone. Curl up a second time. Low belly pulls in. Head and chest comes down, feet flat. And then relaxing for this investigation piece. So you did your grounding, your tapasya effort, seeing how the energy body and the mind and the spirit respond, being open to what arises. And we'll come into straddle lifting here. So first, reaching straight up and doing some investigation. If your hamstrings are tight, you might notice that here, pointing and flexing. And then it's fine to do this with knees bent. Just keep the knees over the hips. If they want to rock over the belly, try to keep them over the hips. Switch up your interlace from the last pose. Shoulders down, elbow tips reach up. And then from there, opening into straddle to your very first edge. Feeling into what shows up. Keep the head and chest up. Head relaxes into hands. Inhale across the back, bottom ribs, and then flatten the top rim of the sacrum down. Pubic bone curls towards navel, elbows reach up, low belly pulls in. Head and chest comes down a bit. Inhale across back, bottom ribs. Exhale, curl pubic bone. Elbows reach up strongly. Reach out through the inner legs and the outer legs. Low belly pulls in. Head and chest comes down. Inhale. Exhale, press the top rim of the sacrum down. Curl pubic bone, elbows reach up, low belly pulls in. We'll do 2 more. Head and chest comes down a bit. Full breath in. Exhale, curl pubic bone, elbows reach up, keeping out through the legs, low belly pulls in. Come down a few inches. Inhale here. Exhale, curl pubic bone, elbows reach up. Reach out through the inner and outer legs, low belly pulls in. Gently place the head down. Gently help the legs back together. And then take a feeling couple of breaths here, relaxing, receiving the nutrients from the core work, feeling how the breath responds. And then from here, let's set up for bridge. So feet underneath the knees, outer edges of the feet parallel. Find the most supportive variation for your arms that helps you find deep, steady breathing. Inhale across the back, bottom ribs. Exhale, press the ground away, lifting the hips up. Finding a quality of curiosity. Most of us have done this pose so many times, and seeing where you can make any adjustments to your approach. This is a super grounding pose. You're finding your legs, you're finding the glutes, seeing how the chest and the heart respond to getting grounded. Finding a quality of a back bend here. Lifting across the sternum and the collarbones. Keeping the neck as soft as possible, pressing the ground away, receiving earth energy into the legs and the pelvis. And then we'll add in another round of Uddiyana here, so relaxing internally. Feel all the way through the breath, feel all the way up. Exhale everything out. Staying empty, pull the belly back, getting curious. And when you're ready to breathe, relaxing the abdominals, rolling down out of your bridge, inhaling, seeing what arises. And then keeping neck relaxed, rolling onto one side. Let's come up to tabletop. And then from here, let's come into turbo puppy. So hands come forward to hands with distance. Bending the elbows for today deeply. So the elbows are hovering 1 to 3 inches away from the ground. Send the upper arm bone away from the shoulder joint, making space. And then from there, moving shoulders away from the ears, pressing into the tops of the feet. And then as if you had a beach ball between your elbows, squeeze the inner elbows towards each other. So there's lots of actions happening simultaneously. Upper arm bone reaching to the ground. Inner elbow squeezing in. Pressing into the inner hands. Getting empty at the end of the breath, belly towards spine. And then from there, straightening the arms, come back to the tabletop. And then let's do that version that works with the neck and the sit bones a bit of tabletop. Inhale, broadening across back ribs. Keep the front ribs knitted in. Exhale, sit back towards the heels. Take the ear to the shoulder. Inhale, back through neutral spine. Exhale, ear to shoulder. Keep going at your own pace, and then begin to play with what else wants to happen. Let the energy body lead. Let the breath lead. Let the physical physical body respond to what the energy body needs. Let the neck do its thing to unravel the mysterious spots that most of us have there. Seeing if there's any jaw releasing, anything else that wants to happen here. And then come back through tabletop. Let's come into down dog. So hands come forward, a hands width distance, shoulders down, press into the inner hands, inner elbows hug in, curl toes under, and you can keep the knees really bent to get into knitting your front ribs back towards the back ribs, and then begin to play with straightening the legs, taking anything in terms of movements that feel useful and supportive. Walk your feet to your hands when you're ready. Uttanasana, outer edges of the feet parallel, soft knees. Options, if your neck is tight, interlace your hands around your neck, giving your neck a gentle squeeze and awareness. Look towards your navel. You can hold inner elbows. You can have hands on blocks. When you're ready, thumbs into the hip crease. Engage the spine. Come up with a flat back. And then from there, pausing. Coming into your imaginary beach ball. Inhaling here. And then just sensing front ribs softening down. Stacking ribs right over pelvis. Get weight into your heels. Get your front hip points over your heels. Lift your ribs. Bring the hands to touch. Let's come into, we'll combine some suns with some standing poses. So telescope the ribs, lift the ribs, feel your torso as much as you can. Feel your core lengthen. And then come into opening the chest and shoulders. Exhale, soft knees, using the hip hinge and not the low spine. From here, left leg is stepping back. You can use a towel to pad your knee or fold the mat if you need extra padding. And then press into both feet, ground yourself. Lift the pubic bone, particularly engaging the left sit bone muscles. And then from there, reaching the arms up, playing with broadening the arm reach, maybe bending the elbows, see what gives you freedom in the shoulders. If it's okay for your neck, look up, see how that affects your energy body. And then from there, hold on to the right hip. Continue to lift your ribs, reach up and over into your side bend. So you could let the ribs come out and then tuck the ribs in. Notice what is interesting in making these small movements to ground yourself, study yourself, and see what's possible. Seeing what arises effortlessly. From there, bring the torso up. Let's step back into plank. So you decide, knees up or knees down. Finding a high quality transition, using this lengthening quality in the core to create space. Reach the thigh bones back strongly. Internally rotate them, find your feet. And then from there, hands on your shoulders. Pull the hands towards the feet. Feel the triceps respond. Crown of the head coming forward and up. And then get a sense of the ribs, getting each set of ribs to articulate, come down, hands under shoulders, shoulder blades down the back, press the ground away. Come through your table and into your down dog. Option to come into turbo dog, slight bend of the elbows, tweezing inner elbows in. And then like you're gonna sit on the sky, find your sit bones, front ribs towards back ribs, and then using your core, step left leg forward, patting the knee, taking care of your joints. And then again, press into both feet, kick into the ground, lift the pubic bone, feel the insertion of the right hamstring and glutes, especially on this side. Lift your ribs, wrap your shoulder blades, play with your arm position. Keep coming back to this process of getting in the gap, grounding, studying yourself, being open to grace. Hold on to the left hip. Telescope ribs, reach up and over. Keep the right hip grounded so you have a root to then rise up out of. Knitting the front ribs in and down, pubic bone lifting. Come back up, step up. Find out where you can get light by using your core. Come on up, either rounding up or flat back. See what feels better. Lift your ribs. I like to alternate. Both of them feel good to me. Opening into front body. Hands come to heart center. Come into chair pose. Either feet together or feet at hips width distance. Either way, outer edges of the feet parallel. Sweeping forward, get into your heels. Telescoping ribs. And then again, play with the arms. See what gives you the most curiosity and fascination with working in Utkatasana. Relax the ribs and then stretch them open. Exhale, straighten the legs forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins. Look like a cobra. Get into a back bend, heart reaches forward. Exhale, step back into your plank. Let's come through boat pose, otherwise known as Shalambhasana. Low down with control. Do your self-assist. Lengthen each leg, ground all of your toes. And then from there, either hover the hands, palms down, or interlace. Lift the legs, lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Keep the back of the neck long. Kicking through the legs, letting length be the priority. Curl pubic bone, use your upper back. 2 more breaths here. And then release your pose. Come into crocodile. Either stacking the hands to make a pillow or forearms down, palms flat. Using the earth as a reference point to see where is my body in this world? Where am I located? Hands on your shoulders. Shoulder blades contract down. Use the power of the exhale. Use the core, belly towards spine, front ribs towards back ribs, down dog. Option of turbo dog. And then from here, we're gonna come right into warrior 2. Let's do right leg first. So using your core, right leg steps forward, front heel aligns to back arch. And I did not announce this, but if you have a shirt, or I'm using a shirt in lieu of a strap, we're gonna come into archer warrior 2. Sorry, I forgot to announce props. Using something, you could also do half archer, which means one hand behind the head, holding onto the elbow if you don't have a strap. But maybe your hands touch. So from here, seeing where you can spin the thumb down if you have a prop where your hands do touch. And then find your basic moves. Kick into the ground. Get your heels down so you have your back body. Lift your ribs, broadening into the side ribs. Wrap the bicep on the right towards the ear. Reach the elbow tip up. Take a nourishing breath into all of the left shoulder girdle and then contract the left shoulder blade down. Option 1, stay right here. Option 2, folding over and to the right, keeping your bind. Noticing how inverting changes the work in the upper body. Keep breathing. From there, kick into the ground, come back up, release your bind. From there, head to ankle prep. Hold on to the top crest of the pelvis. Use your legs, lift your ribs, and then from here, hinge forward. This time, hands under shoulders. Right hand goes to the inner thigh, just like unlocking the hips, right up close to the hip joint. This is a great place to use a block. If you want to block on your left hand, go for it. Walk your left hand any amount to the left. Take a big breath into the right hip. On exhale, pressing down and away on the inner thigh, moving your torso into lateral flexion. It's a weird pose. You're opening into the hip and the side body. Looking towards your navel. And then from here, stay low, hands come back underneath shoulders. We're gonna come right into lizard. Walk both hands inside the right foot. Also a great place to grab a block or two. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Kick through the legs. You could try scissoring the feet towards each other if that feels okay in your joints. It could really find power in the legs and the pelvis. And then from here, nomad's pose, gently place back knee down, shift the hips back. This is a good place for 2 blocks. Straighten the front leg, telescope ribs, and then fold. Couple of options with the foot. You could press the heel into the floor or the mat and pull the heel towards you to find that sit bone line again and again and again. And then also reach the ball of the foot towards the floor. So you're getting into those tissues in the top of the ankle. Shoulders away from the ears, soft neck. And then from here, bringing the torso up. We'll do one more pose on this side. Option, twisting lunge with both knees bent. If you want to amp it up a bit, you could curl the toes under and lift the back knee off. Option. From here, lift the ribs coming forward, either elbow outside the thigh, connecting the hands, or opening the arms, one hand on the block. So a bunch of choices there. Knee up or knee down, hands together or arms open. Feel for what's the best and most compelling choice for the body you have today. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, move the back of your head towards the upper left-hand corner of the mat. And then from there, when you're ready, unwind your twist, come back, plank. Again, knees up or knees down. We're gonna do another Shalabhasana variation that we do sometimes for the neck. Do your self-assist, reach back strongly through your legs. Bring your hands next to your torso. If you're new to this, it's gonna be the kind of thing you wanna watch. You're gonna bring the back of your right hand to your right cheek and then lift up. Use your upper back, press face into hand and hand into face. Reach through the legs and then come back down. Opposite side, take the back of your left hand to your left cheek, look to the right, press head into hand and hand into head. Use your upper back. And do that one more time on each side. Right hand to face. Use your upper back, look to the left, press hand into face, and face into hand. And then one more time on the opposite side. The back of the left hand to the left cheek, look to the right, lift up, press face into hand and hand into face, and then release. And then wash. Let me feet in here. Wash the breath into your cervical spine and upper back. See what you learn about your neck. And then hands on your shoulders. Press back into downward facing dog. Setting your gaze, softening your neck, use your legs. Step your left leg forward, warrior 2. Have your strap or strap substitute within reaching distance. Front heel to back arch. If you have the mobility, pick up the back heel and spin it out to roll that thigh internally, which makes more space to tuck the hip under. And then from there, sensing where your hips are, aligning front hip points to ankles. And we'll do left arm up. Arch your warrior 2. Internally rotate the right arm, thumb is down, get a hold of your prop. And then just notice if you're jutting your ribs out, soften them down, which will give you more accuracy with your shoulders. And then feel this opposition as an ally. One arm reaching up, one arm reaching down to open into your heart. Using the ground as a way to help give your heart a hold. Feeling that heart to earth connection. Wrap the left bicep towards the ear, reach the elbow up strongly. Inhale. Exhale, contract the right shoulder blade down, reaching right elbow down. Option 1, stay right here. Option 2, fold over and to the left. And then keep breathing. Look towards your navel. Seeing what arises as you come into the shape. Finding what is the right and sustainable way to effort to do tapasya. And to be aware and awake to yourself when you put yourself in these shapes. From there, use your legs, coming up with your neck and spine as soft as possible, releasing the arm bind. Hold on to the pelvis, press down, and then resist, lift the ribs. Keep the space you just made, and then hinge forward. Hands under shoulders, great place to use a block here underneath the right hand. Take the left hand to the inner thigh. Take a deep breath in, exhale, pressing down and away, moving into lateral flexion with the spine. And then seeing what shows up as you're working in your head to ankle prep. Keep seeing where you can come back to this theme of getting in the gap, grounding, paying attention, being open to grace. Staying low, walk both hands back underneath shoulders. See what happens in the hips here as you walk both hands inside the front foot. Shift onto the ball of the back foot. And then find the power in that back leg, hugging muscle to bone. Contract the sit bone muscles, kick into the front foot. Hug the inner left knee to the outer right arm or shoulder, wherever it's landing. And then lengthen your spine, crown of the head reaching forward. Maybe you scissor the feet towards each other to square the hips. See if that's useful. And then from there, gently place the back knee down. Good place to pad the knee. Shift the hips back, nomad's pose. Grab a block or block straight into the front leg, squaring the hips, telescope ribs, and then fold. And then playing with these different options with the front foot. Press the heel into the mat, contract the heel back, like you're trying to pull the mat back. See how that affects the back line of the leg. And then lengthen through the top of the foot, opening into the front line. And then from there, with a relaxed neck, bringing torso up, rebend the front knee, and then decide a few things. What are you going to do with the back leg? Keep the knee down or straighten the leg and lift the knee. Setting up for your twist, lengthen, coming forward, and either elbow outside the thigh or opening the arm. Wherever you're working, see how you can prioritize being able to study yourself. If you put yourself in too much of a stress response, it's much more difficult to study your mind and your energy. So backing it up, if you notice that happening, see where you can unfurl your spine, sort of leaning back, back of the head towards the upper right-hand corner of the mat. And then unwinding your twist, step back. Coming through some shoulder shrugs in both this time, lowering down, reaching back through each leg. Option to use a block in your boat between your ankles. If you're using a block, squeeze your block and lift it. Lift the chest and then hover the hands about 6 inches next to shoulders, 6 inches off of the ground. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbow tips. Reach through your legs, use your glutes. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. Reach through your legs. Inhale, broadening upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. Reach through the legs. Lower down. And then again, receiving the energy, studying what's showing up as a result of your kapasya, being open, using the pause at the top and the bottom of the breath to sense this opening pause, the possibility of grace. Come into a final down dog here, hands on your shoulders, press back into down dog. And let's do a three-legged dog. So you might step the feet a bit closer with a lot of focus as you lift the left leg, noticing the leg as a lever to the core, inner leg, pelvic floor, low abs. As you bend the knee, sense the glutes, and then take any movements that help you find integrated sensation of parts. How does the leg connect to the hip? How does the hip connect to the shoulder? When you're ready, lengthen the left thigh bone away from the hip to lower down. Switching sides with a lot of focus, lifting the right leg, studying the difference. If you're right side dominant like me, it's just so different when I lift my right leg. Bending into the knee, feel the glutes and the hamstrings fire, and then see, let the breath lead, let your curiosity lead. How does that hip want to move? How does the shoulder respond to movement in the hip? And then lengthening the right thigh bone away from the hip, lowering down. Take a big breath in, either doing another Uddiyana or just a complete exhale. You're doing Uddiyana, using this as a final way to relax the core, relaxing belly muscles, inhaling, coming onto the back. And we'll finish with a twist. So I like to shift my hips about 3-4 inches to the right, knees to chest. And so when you come into the twist, lower body to the left, the spine can stay more in one line. So you might want to try that. Take the right arm out, palm facing up. Getting any props, if the floor feels far, use your blocks, use anything you got around to bring your home to you. Take your whole left hand onto your side ribs. Keep guiding breath into your intercostal muscles. You carry a lot of things on your right side. You might notice some difference side to side or vice versa, left or right. And then take your whole left hand to your upper chest on the right, finding another place to guide grace and breath into. When you are ready, shifting your twist to the other side, bring the lower body back through center, bring the hips back to center, and then shift the hips about 3 inches to the left, knees to chest, and then on exhale, lowering the lower body down to the right. The left arm can come out with the palm up, and then take your whole right hand, sensing your own healing presence as you rest your hand somewhere on your left torso. See if you can notice how the yoga asana and mindfulness practice increases your sensitivity to your own healing presence, your own basic goodness, your own radiance. If you like, taking your hands over your heart, sensing your heart. Soaking all of your effort, all of this high quality attention into your heart, opening your heart to surrender into Shavasana, resting in grace, unwinding your twist, shifting the hips to center, and then setting up whatever would be the most grounding and nourishing way to align yourself with earth and the self-organizing principle of nature, which is also who you are. Beginning to hone in on the earth and the earth energy. And sensing that grounding cord from your heart to your home, the earth, and the cord of connection to this community of care and practice. And as a result of those two connections, seeing where you can inflate some part of you that might be collapsed, that needs some inflating, confidence, courage. Staying with that process as you're ready, rolling onto one side. Pressing into the ground to come back up to a seat. And if you like, interlacing your hands, bringing the hands to the crown of the head. And continuing with that inflating process as a result of your strong efforts and your high quality attention, seeing if you could sense an increase of your personal buoyancy. Is a term that comes from a book called Hunger, Hope, and Healing that I love. And if you like, bringing the hands to touch to seal this yoga ceremony. I love practicing with you guys on Mondays. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna. Much
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Always a blessing.
See you soon.
See you soon.